now. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, it's Jeff here. I hope you're all doing well. This is day 4 of the Beginners Bootcamp. Welcome all. My top left, we have Nick. Top right, we have Demo, Unita, Henrik, and Franziska. And Mr. Dan Bolger is just popping on as well. Welcome all. Welcome all. So, Dan's showing his face today, which is good. Lovely background.
Yeah. God, it's the local beach here on Sunrise, and we walk in the mornings.
Oh, terrific, beautiful. Yes, it's a lovely part of the world. I've only stopped there on the way to Cuba a couple of times. On the way there, on the way back.
Yeah.
I remember once I had a stopover for a few hours. I went to the cinema in one of the malls, and yeah.
Yeah, it's got the sixth largest mall in the world here. So yeah, some crazy stuff. They say it's third world country, but it's not. It's well more advanced in certain ways, but other sides it's not. So
yes. So questions, observations, learnings from everything we've done up until now. I know some people ask me about prop firms and the cheapest ones. They've been messaging me different things, and I would say it's not always about the cheapest, but we can go into some of them if people like. But let's. Nick's eating something, so I won't ask him first. So, anybody, any questions?
All right, I'm okay, mate. I'm okay. I was just sharing my last cookie with the dog. That's all. So.
Okay, thank you. Well, we don't get to see that. Thank you very much. So, questions on anything we've covered up to now. So, I'll just round real quick. I'll start with Henrik because he was the first on. Henrik, any questions on anything up to now? I've got my notepad and pen ready. As you can see, I always come to class. Any questions, any observations you want to pass on, please, so we can help you whatever's needed, because you've taken time out of your day to be here, so I want to help. That's the way I work. Whether it be free or paid, you're here, so I honor that.
No, I just found, you shared a lot of good information, which made me, as I said yesterday, the day before, sort of revise what I've been doing up till now, which I think is good. I mean, my biggest obstacle right now is basically finding or making up a plan that is consistent enough, and but it's been very helpful so far.
Yep, that's good. I appreciate that feedback. Dan, anything you want to ask or feedback even? Not just myself, to the other people, because it's a group thing. Just let you know, Michael's going to the hospital, we can't make it, and Julie is doing a workshop, so she can't make it as well.
Perfect. Basically, I've just obviously joined the group. I haven't really traded, I've read a lot of books, but just I suppose the camaraderie with everyone, sharing their knowledge and what they're going through. And I think that's, it's one of those things, you talk about it, you read the books, it's the nervousness of getting involved. Everyone on social media, like Instagram and all, make it look easy. I'm just not being scammed. And I suppose joining this group is, a sure sign. I've already signed up this morning. I've already got my wife signing up as well. So she's very cautious like I am. But we just, I think that the feedback I got from everyone, from sort of you guys, not saying I got to sit at a desk 24 hours a day, just the way you've all given your insights of how you've done and how you're doing it, has basically led me down the path of saying time is now, but instead of me trying to do it on YouTube as everyone else does it, I've actually joined and we'll join this group, and that starts on the start of the month, and I'm really looking forward to the journey.
Excellent. With that one, Dan, I've given you a link for your wife as well, so she can request access. Just so you know, you've been invited already. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Let me just check. So Henrik's given some feedback. Dan has. Nick, since you're talking head on tonight, observations, questions. Is there anything about charts you want to know? Because I'm actually going to show some futures and indices today, but so far I've only shown Forex. I want to show you something a little bit different. I'm going to do two
I
different
mean, I'm
charts.
okay pretty much with everything, mate. As you know, obviously, futures or whatever would be interesting, something different to look at. Because as you know, I don't really, well, never got round to grasping that before. So yeah, that'd be a help.
Yeah, well, they have candles. They go up, they go down, they're sideways, just the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Think of it as indices. That's all it is. S&P 500 and indices, like all that is a CFD, cash for difference. But in futures, it's use of, yeah, whatever. Demo, yourself, any observations, questions, anything that I can help you with or the group can help you with, please? Nope. Okay, that's fine. Thank you much. She's probably doing stuff. Francisca, Juanita, any observations? Anything like to say? Unita, can you hear me okay? Because I know yesterday you couldn't hear me. Maybe not, maybe not. Okay, I'll just carry on. What we got here. So this is the 30-minute trader group. What I've done, I've made a post right here, and I'll make that featured. So this is an overview there of that there. This here's the first video. For whatever reason, the second full-length video didn't record. So I did a review of it there, and that was yesterday. So after this, today, this will be, I'll keep in here, that'll be day 4, and then tomorrow will be day 5. So it'll be up at the top, just so you know. So what have I got here is a few different things. Quick question, does anybody use ChatGPT or anything similar? No? Yes? Not sure? Okay.
Yeah, I've got into it. So
yeah, you got into it. Okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, so that's that there. So I'm just going to share. Let's just observe this for a minute. This is US 500. You could call it S&P 500. You could, yeah. I'll show you a different chart with the same thing, but so we've got S&P 500. This is futures using a September contract. Yeah. So what I've got on here is this is a 9:30 candle, that's a 10 o'clock candle, and that there is 11 o'clock future candle right there. I've drawn 6 lines on my chart. I've marked up London, I've marked up lunch and the PM session of the New York session, and I've drawn a line really clear, 6 lines straight across. So we've color coded this grey, orange, and blue. And at this time of the day, one of the strategies is, as I'll just show you, wait for it to cross lines. Let's say, for example, if it crosses here, and the moment it crosses back there, that's your target right there. Because you go to blue, but only once it's coming back. I'm on the 1 minute time frame. This is live, ladies and gentlemen, and you should see a clock ticker down there. You'll see this candle. You'll see this, just like, you know, you see that there's 55th. That's it there. Just wick that up there. Yeah. So there's other things. So I'll just leave that there. So this is live data. Over here is not live data. This is delayed data. Just so you can see there. I think it's delayed about 10 minutes. And for futures, you need to. I've not connected my futures account with this yet, but I just want to show you that the same thing. All the way back. So I've got London PM session, sorry, lunch PM session, yeah, and I've color coded them blue, orange, grey, and I do the exact same thing just so that you know. So there's 9:30, there's 10, and there is 11. But with futures, you can be a little bit. They've got some extra stuff down here. We can do this with futures. This is one of the reasons we do it, because we're trading the day before. We're trading against the day before. Now, if I was a magician, Nick, do you think this is going to go up, or do you think it's going to go down?
Looking at that, from my candles are, I'm just trying to see other candles. It's like, if you, go back to where it was. I think it's going to go down first.
Yep.
To take back that liquidity, blah blah blah, you know, and then go back up. So
round about there, I think.
Yeah, because I could just about see where your candle's quite small. I could just about see those on the left. So
yep. So we go back
roughly about there in that circle somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to go down or up somewhere, right? And all I'm looking for is a movement. Now, let's say, for example, it turns up here at the orange. My next target is the orange here. It's a simple setup. This is the way I trade at a particular time of the day. Guess what? This time of the day. That's my setup.
Sorry, can I ask a really stupid question?
Mm-hmm.
How Nick, how did you predict, not that you predicting, why are you predicting it's coming down to the circle where we've marked it there? Is there a sign before yesterday?
No, how can I trying to explain it? To be more simple, it's something that comes with experience, but it's, how can I put it? It's what we call like imbalance, where orders have been left behind before, and it needs to go back to recover the orders that have been left behind below to the left before it goes back up again.
See this here? It's a gap. It's a big gap there. It's not came back yet. There's no candles there. It has to come down to here.
We're just talking about that bit where you got the circle, Jeff. You know.
I know.
No. I understand.
Okay,
so that's what was left on the book
to fill in that gap.
Yeah, but also to fill in those candles to the left of where that circle is. You know, it's
So that happens every day.
See, it's gone. It's literally gone right there now.
Yeah,
gone right there now, and that's where I would probably get out somewhere there. Well, with a trailing stop loss, like, I would take it as far as I could, but I'd probably get out somewhere where it's hit, and that's it.
And these are 1 minute candles, right? You can and you can see it. Yeah, you can go down a lower time frame even. You can go down to a 1 second. You can do whatever you like.
Can you make them a little bit thicker, Jeff?
Thicker, bigger.
Just a little bit thicker. Yeah, that's all right. That's okay. That's fine.
So that happens every day, basically.
Yes.
That they're left on the books, basically. Okay.
Yes. But sometimes it does that. Yeah. It sends you people the opposite way and then comes back. Now, if you know, there's a lot. Most people say to me, Jeff, why are you trading at this time? All the trading's done here or before. You've missed everything. I said, that's right. I've missed this crazy move. I've missed this crazy move. I said, you're right. I have. I've missed the crazy move. I don't want to get involved in this mess. Now, just watch what happens in the next, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. So let's just see. It's attempting to end there and reject, but we'll see. So I'm going to go back to US 500 here. I'm going to go back to US 500, and it moves very similar. You see how it moves very similar? A few different things there. So it's trying to break through. It's failed. It's come back. It's trying to break through, and we just let it sit. So let's stick with this for a minute. Let's stick with this one. Sometimes, so I don't have any of these crazy indicators. We're just looking at candles. I've marked up times to represent times of the day. Yep, that's 9:30, that's 10, and that's 11. The trade for entry, this particular trade entry, it's between 10 and 11. You can trade other things outside that. You can stay in the trade, but this specific setup is between 10 and 11. And I only trade it at this time. You can do something similar other times, but this is that one there. So let's just say, for example, this was to come down to maybe this candle here as an example, or there's little gaps there. Before we do that, let me do something else. Let me do something else. Let me do something else. What I'm looking for, I'm looking at the cat, I'm reading these candles. Just trying to see what they say on the 1 minute. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just go up to the 5 minute from it just to see it slightly different. So this, just like you know, Dan, every candle represents 5 minutes of time, right? If I use a banker style of trading, somebody called bankers, it's not it's just a phrase, okay? They would look at something like this. We have a white candle, white. It changed. So what they would typically do is they would take one of these, and it depends if it's supply or demand or just straight bankers. They'll do something like that there, and they would do the same down here. Yep. And depending on the style, there are slight differences. So they'll mark this up as green because they want that to go back up. They would mark that up as red because they want it to hit there and potentially come back down. But this time of the day, there's usually quite a bit of movement. So we're in this trading range. Yep, we're in this trading range. And if you use a banker style, what it says, approximately 50% of if you're using a zone or using, so that's it there. Yeah, so approximately 50%. There are tools to help you with that. So called Ganbox. I said this Ganbox day one, so I want to get 50%. I want to be a bit more accurate. That's it there. And we'll wait for this candle to finish before we do anything, as I showed that on day one. Now, do I have to go with that? No, there's something called liquidity. And when liquidity happens at this time of the day, it's looking to go to the bottom here and then go above here. Already, it's just wick below it. I don't know if you can see that little wick just there. Tiny little wick. Now, before we go any further, because I know people might be getting lost or not, Henrik, Henrik or Dan, any questions? There's a question here. How do you decide on the entry or exit points engulfing candles? Or Henrik, it depends on the style, and you have your own entry. Henrik, you have your own entry and exit system, I would believe, because you're quite successful. Is that correct? You've got your own. Henrik?
Yeah, I do. I'm just asking because, as you said, there are different styles. So people do it in different ways. They wait for closing candle, or they're waiting for whatever.
Yep. Well, at the moment, there's no entry. What this is just showing is what some people will say. I don't trade off of this at this time of the day. I would be trading off of that blue line. Yeah. I'm looking for it to come down here for liquidity and go back up. I have a take profit 1, a take profit 2, and a take profit 3. Already drawn based on yesterday. And if it doesn't come back, I've not won anything and I've not lost anything. No indicators, no nothing. If I was to put on an indicator, I could put on my 30-minute trader as an example. And what that would highlight is something here. I could put on my 30-minute trader direction, and I would notice this, it would be saying it's red. And then when it turns, it would be white or green, depends on my settings, to go back up. So at this moment in time, I'm not terribly worried about this. Remember, that's the 5-minute time frame, but I do everything on the 1 minute. I'm doing it today with 0 indicators, just to show you the simplest setup you'll probably see. It's the simplest setups, but it's the most, I would say, it's quite difficult to get your head around because there's a lot going on. Now let's go back to the other one. Yeah. How did I do? How did we do?
Yeah.
Dan?
Yeah, you're
How
correct.
did we do?
You're spot on.
Yeah. So Nick and me were probably about, well, we're not too shabby, shall we say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I said, it would take that out and then go back up. So it's more or less done that.
Yeah.
And that's pure strategy that you're using on that.
Strategy.
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely.
strategy, but more
no
experience, to be honest.
Absolutely. These are just lines. That's all they are. It's not an indicator. This here is just highlighting sessions on the day, like you may have heard of the London session, and there is a little bit of a difference with it, the way I've set them up, but that's really it. So this achieved what we believed it would do. What I would like it to do is just to push it down a little bit further. Let me actually go back to the 15-minute time frame to see if there's anything else further down here. So what we have here, I'll actually switch everything off here. I'll just switch everything off if I go. What we have here is something called, use two different names for this. Some people would call this an imbalance in the market. Some people would call this a fair value gap. Now, what that means to you, Dan, is it came from a low. And if you think of the phrases or like, I don't know if you know any deals in property, buying and selling property. I know the you, for example. Behind every buyer, would you see there's got to be a seller? Okay, that's the logic. So what going up is buying. So buy. And but how could it go up without any sellers? So it has to come back and resolve that at a later date, or at least 50%, typically. At least to 50%. If it doesn't do it, it will come back at a later date. Yeah. And you may have heard of companies getting fined billions of pounds for market manipulation. It goes on. We understand that, but that's just. So I just wanted a higher time frame just to see if there was anything down here, and there is. Very much. So let's go down to the 5-minute time frame. Give me a minute. So you can see that's sitting there. It's filled in that gap there, that complete gap from the day before. Oh, then now look at that. Can you see that? Can you see that there, Dan? That candle says Tuesday 16:10. The very next candle up there says Wednesday 9:09:30. Because on my charts, I've asked it to hide something called overnight trading based in the US hours. Because my charts are all based on New York. So it makes no difference if you're where you are, like Scotland, Ireland, Bali, London, Scandinavia. I ask everybody who trades with me to set the charts at New York. Or at least when you're asking for help, change this to New York so the people all around the world know which time of the day you're at. So we don't have to say, well, is he Central European time? Is he London? Is he Eastern time? Is he Pacific? Is he Mountain time? Is he Western Australia? Is it Eastern Australia? So if we all stick to New York, then we know what we're doing. So that's what we're at so far. And it seems to be pushing down just a little bit more. Now there's actually, Nick, for you, there's actually not just a liquidity void. There's actually a gap in there, a volume imbalance as well.
What a big one, yeah.
There's a volume imbalance as well as this here. Yeah. So for everybody else, all that means is, I don't know if you can see, there's a candle, there's a wick, and there's no overlap. You see it, most of these have an overlap. There's a one there as well, and it came down. The way I like to explain this, Henrik, Dan. Now, is anybody here good at painting and decorating? I'll just highlight that. I'm shocking at it, to be perfectly honest. Dan, being a property man, I would expect you're quite good at painting and decorating. You'd have to be in your time. Yeah.
Yeah, when I pay.
Yeah. So I've got that little gap there, right? What you see this? Bang, right there. It's done its job. So what it's done, it's filled in the gap, the first gap from the day before it's done. It's now pushing down because we've got this fair value gap here as well. And there's a little, I know it seems really strange, like how could you read candles like this? Well, I teach reading candles as well. Now there's, in our system, we don't just have one trader, one educator. And we have somebody that teaches market structure from the 4 hour down to the 5 minute. Myself, I teach candles and strategies based on time of the day. And in the future, we're going to bring in someone else as well. London time. Yeah.
Sorry, Jeff, could you just mention what you meant by when you was talking about so and so, if anyone's good at being good at painting and decorating? Sorry.
Okay.
If you could
yeah.
Can't get my words out in a minute. Sorry, you know what I mean. If you could
the
highlight
analogy.
what you
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know about you, but and I'll just take it. And I don't know about you, Henrik, but in Scotland, if you're painting and decorating, people like to take the mick. They'll come out and say you've missed a bit. You've missed a bit up there. You've worked hard all day. Your shoulders are knackered from doing this, and you maybe even use the roller, and it's the worst thing you want to hear. So that's like the bank. They're trying to fill in the gaps, but they miss bits. They miss bits. So what it does, it's got to go up, and then it's got to come back down to make. Sometimes it's more than once. So you see that gap go down, and then hopefully go back up to show you that example. Was that what you're meaning?
The term used is like brush strokes, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's one we hear. Henrik, is that okay for you, that explanation? I don't know if you can hear me. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, thank you very much. I just want to make sure everybody's getting some value at this. So now on this here, you see it's really pushed down, and it's still in a downtrend. I'm not even talking about market structure until it goes back up there. I'm not looking for any buys. Well, there are other things I can do. I do apologize. There are other things I can do, but let's just stick to these basic rules. And sometimes it's just good to look at the candles and do nothing and observe and use the experience in the room. So let me take it a little bit further here. Now, Henrik, I wonder if you can help me out. So we see here, we just come from here. We have black candle, we have white pushed up. There's a black candle. I noticed that. Remember on the 5 minute went up, it come down. Then had another movement up, come down. I'm just doing this all the way to where we are, up, come down. The black one, there's these three here, there's these two here. So anytime I see something like this, I would say these are things to pay attention to, as well as this, these things here to pay attention to. Now, this is the 5 minute time frame. Yep. Round about here, some people would use the phrase, there's a lot of orders, buying and selling, like fighting for who's going to win. And you see eventually the buyers won there. Now, one of the wonderful things about S&P 500 is it's very algorithmic, a lot more than others. Let me just see what we've got here. So the next, so coming down here, what do you remember the next one I said? No, it's not there. But do you remember I also highlighted this area here because it stands out? Yeah. So I'll just be caught, and if it pushes down even further, fantastic. Then I look for the next area. We don't look to make rash decisions, because when you make rash decisions, let's say, for example, I say, that's it. That's the area there. It's going to reverse in there. Okay, let's set my stop loss. Let's set my entry. I'm going to go 50% there. I'll put my stop loss in. I'll get nice and tight stop loss, or maybe even do it a little bit more. All this is possible. I'll do that there, and I'm going to go back all the way up to there. In fact, I'm going to go to the moon. So let's say I set that there, and I think 3.76. Well, that's okay. And then when it comes down here, without really doing anything, I feel pretty flat about myself. I've just lost whatever is a percent or whatever. So we wait for a stronger so this is the 5 minute here. So I'll just set that there for a minute. So let's go here. You see this one's been pushing down as well. This one's been really pushing down a lot actually. So this is US 500, and this is what time frame? This is still on the 5 minute as well. So let's just check. So I'm always looking left. I'm always looking left, and we're in here. Oh, this great big thing here. So I'm going to go up to the 50 minute for a minute to try and see the prices in here. So it looks like since that move, Nick, it just keeps pushing down. It just wants to keep pushing down at the moment. So you would just let it go. Just absolutely let it go. Don't get involved. Don't try to what shall I say? Believe you can beat a $1 trillion market all by yourself. Dan, there's a lot of money with this. There's a lot of money with this, and there's more than I don't know you that well, but I would probably say there's a lot more than you could ever invest and move the market yourself. Just so you know.
I mean, it don't look much, but in just one of those candles could be billions. You know, it's crazy.
Let's look at the candle here. Demo, have you ever heard, is Demo there? Yeah. Has anybody here ever heard me talk about the phrase, Demo or Nick, 10 a.m. turnaround?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
What time is that?
10 a.m. ESTs, 3 p.m. UK, and whatever else where.
That's 10 a.m. right there.
Yeah.
Before that, I was going up. Thank you very much. Drop. Done. It could have stopped there, but it just kept on pushing. It just kept on pushing. So other people are looking potentially for it to turn around, and I am, to be perfectly honest as well. But I want to go left here to see. I want to just do something else. I want to go to a horizontal line, so I'll go back in time, left as well as right. I want to see where that fits here. And this is the 1 minute time frame. There's this huge price hasn't been as low for this for since Tuesday. So I'm looking for something to give me an excuse to turn around. Okay, let me go up to the 5 minute. I'm going to swap back to futures for a minute. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play with this. You can see this previous days. You can see previous days, this setup. Now, if you look there was a gap there. It never came back. I'll just highlight that again. That candle there was Tuesday 1610. That candle up there, the open, was 930. Yeah, so there was a gap there, and it's not come back down to that yet. So I'm very aware that it's came down to there. So all I'm going to do is I want to highlight that as a potential. It's not come back yet. And it's not come back to this. I'm just going to do the same there. That was 9:30, and that was the previous day. So you asked Dan, does that happen? There's not always gap. Well, it probably is actually. There's most days there's a gap like that there. I'll do that again. That candle there, if you look down at the bottom, do that so it's a bit clearer. All the way down at the bottom, this is Thursday 9, and the very next candle there, this is Wednesday 16:10. Yeah, so there's this. So we can use this on purpose. Not many traders know how this works, so they definitely are not even aware of it. They're aware of gaps, so they don't really know how. So we just did that there. So I've got a target, I've got another target, and I'm just saying, well, I popped this into the future. What about that one there? Not, there doesn't seem to be much.
If you want, is that gap there? If you go back to the 14, see the 14 where it says you got 15 ... If you keep going to the left, keep going left.
That one there?
Left a little bit more. There, just up right. There you go. Is that a gap there that they're missing that hasn't filled in? Yeah. No, it's up on the right hand side now. If you come across, come across.
Just keep telling me.
Keep coming across. Keep coming. Stop. That's a gap again, is it?
Yes, that's the Thursday. Look at the date on the bottom.
Okay.
Thursday 16:10. Next candle, Friday 9:30. So what I do is I do that there again, and I mark it out. So price went up. Think of painting. It went up and then it came down. Yeah, and sometimes it has to do it 2 or 3 times to make sure it's filled in. That's filled in. It went down and went back up. Thank you. Yep. So, but we've got this outstanding and we've got this outstanding. It kept pushing up. It's what I call going on a discovery. But that's so far. It's so far away, but it has to come back. At least these ones. That's done. That one's complete. So we can do that one, although it could hit off the top of it. Yeah, to see how that works. So there's a gap there. We could do the same to the right. It's taken all of that out. We spoke about that today. And Nick said, he actually said he believes it's going to come down, and he got it absolutely perfect. That's what I expect someone who's consistent as Nick. Every day, smashing it. Now it's came down to this zone which I previously highlighted. As I said there, and I didn't say it was necessarily an entry or anything. I just said that would be my next possible area to look at. That's all I said. But some people could make a money just off, they could play the percentage game. But I don't want to play the percentage game like that. I want to have a bit more, I'm not into gambling. And that's why I have these lines. I let them tell me when to enter the trade at this time of the day. At this time of the day. Because at the moment, let's not chase it and try and find the bottom. Let's just let it play out. And we got it, Nick and myself, we bought it right. It's pushing down, but it just kept on going. Now, if I was to put one of my tools on called 30-minute traded direction, for example, let me see if I don't know if I can put this on actually. Let me just see. But this might not work. It might not work. I've got this. Can you see that red color there, Henrik? Dan, I don't know if you hear the first day I highlighted this. Can you see how that's went from white to pink there? And here, the candle. So let me just. There was the 9. That was 9:30. It did a little move up, and we start looking. What time are we looking for, Henrik? What time did I call it? Dan.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Thank you very much. It's not always at 10 o'clock, but I waited to 10 o'clock. I'm under this here. You want to look at indicator. He asked me what to do for indicators, if there is one. It's just confirmation. We have a 10 o'clock here. We'll have this. The background's red, or I could have it any color I like, or you can have it white for a buy or whatever. So this is a light pink, so you can still see the candles down, 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 and we just do nothing. We let it run. We do absolutely nothing. We'll just be happy to stay in that trade. If you want to catch a fallen knife to get it back up, well, we're not into that. Now, what you would do now, let me just remove this here for a minute, out of the way, to the side there. Okay. What was I going to say there? Is it possible to get in with something like this? Absolutely. But I don't, on this time frame, I do not see any reason why it's, this is the fact, I don't see anything, there's no reason why I can see it stopping. Yet this thing's left, I could go back to left here and say, well, it's pushing back there. Well, the next one would be here. So we'll just do a little, these candles here again. And I'll do that. That's the next ones there. And I could do that there, and it pushes, and it looks like it's going through that one. So that's the reason why that's why I wouldn't set that there. I'd wait for a bit of confirmation. So that zone's gone. Thank you very much. And if it goes through that zone, I just wait for another one. Now, this is something that could be stronger. This is something that could be stronger. This one here. So it certainly went up, came down, rejected, and that was quite a strong push up. So I'm actually just going to actually pull that down to there. That black candle right there. Now the logic here might seem a bit crazy. And I'll just do that just for approximately 50%. So all I would say is I would watch out what happens here. But my software tells me it's a falling knife. Yeah. Black, 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 black. And it's not stopping. So why go against the candles, the oldest indicator there is in the book? There's all these different fancy candles, but the indicators, but the candles are the strongest indicator you'll get of price, much better than anything else. So we're just reading that. I've created a line approximately 50% of that strong rejection candle, which I showed previously. And that's where it's at now. But if you take nothing out of today, think of this. It's about respecting something. I have a setup. Very simple. 9:30, 10. I'll wait for a small turnaround in the market. Yeah. If you want to use the colors, it went up to the blue and down to a blue. It achieved the same. Thank you very much. Blue to blue. You could potentially close the trade or have a trailing stop. There's different ways to create a trailing stop. Don't worry about that, Dan. You will learn this. Yep. Henrik, have you ever used a trailing stop before?
Yes, quite a few times. Yes.
Yep. Thank you for that, for letting me know. And do you use a particular tool to assist you, or is it market structure or an indicator at all?
I use market structure.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. So for this setup, this for me, this is between a 10 and 11 entry. Straight away out the box at 10 o'clock, we got that there. All I'm really hanging about at the moment for is to see if it's going to come back. Let's not fight it. Some people say, Jeff, I can't see this 10 a.m. turnaround. I said, well, it doesn't get any clearer than that. It really dropped, pushed back up, then straight down. For whatever reason, some people can't see that. I'm going to drop down to the 1 minute time frame just so you can see this a little bit. There. Yeah, there's the 9:30. It's been pushing down for a long time. Pushing down, small pullback. Then at 10 o'clock, it just continued dropping. That was next to my So if you look left there, Nick, sorry, Dan and Henrik, this was the last candle there before that there. So another reason for us thinking this is the, and at that point there, at a small pullback again before continuing down. Now we're just at this area now. We're at this area now, and when I've drawn this zone up, where it seems to be slowing down a little bit. It seems to be slowing down a little bit on the 1 minute at least. It's attempted to pull up and failed. It's attempted to pull up and failed, but it's getting close to this here. Now on that was a 5 minute zone. I'm just going to go further, but now I'm on the 1 minute. I'm just going to go back a little bit further. Now this is quite an advanced setup. Down, so the market was coming down, up, pulled down. Now before that was a strong push down on the 5 minute. Now it's really just a wick, as you can see there. I'm going to go back to the 5 minute. Yeah, we'll just go to the other one as well now. Before I do that, any questions? Oh, let me show you this. What could you avoid percentage? Henrik, would you more of a 5 minute or a 1 minute if you're or a higher time frame for entry?
Well, basically, I prefer 15 minutes.
15, okay.
Yeah.
Now, this particular one I actually prefer on the 1 minute, but this particular setup, but we could have a look at 15 minutes. So 15 minutes would be 3 of these candles, okay, for the people who don't have that new to candles. But we've got the I'll just do it my way for a minute, and then we can, yeah. So we've got this here. It's came down, it's pushed up, and it's below this red line. So the market's turned around. From there, it's turned around. That was a target. Let's say we had a choice at that point to exit the trade. So let's just say we did that there. Choices. One of the questions Henrik asked, would I enter there or would it be the close? Was that the correct question you asked, Henrik? Or was it something else?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, no.
it would typically be the close. Yep. So for you, Dan, that means when you've seen the movement, the close. Or you could wait for a pullback into this area. Now, so if you are getting on the close, you have to be prepared to take a little bit of a drawdown when you see this candle. This time there wasn't. Yeah. But my entry would be there. My stop loss, what would you use for a stop loss, Henrik? Would it be like above that structure there or a bit closer?
No, I personally would use above that structure just as you have it there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just asking. Yeah. So if my initial target we highlighted was there, so that would be classed as a 1 to 1.15. Now, Nick talks about a 50,000 account and 0.5% a day. So you make, that says 1.15. Let's pretend it just says 1%. I'll show you what Nick does. Minimum. That's what he does for $250. But although he's set a target down there, so he'd have his stop loss there. We'd move his stop loss down to there, and then he might let it run. And then then it would bring his stop. Like, I don't want to tell you. Can you explain what you do, Nick, rather than me explain what you do? Because it's probably better you do it.
Yeah, basically, as Jeff just said,
there's a 0.5%.
Right. The minute the candles or take profit goes past 0.5%, I would move my stop loss down into place there. So that's what you call a trailing stop, because you're moving your stop loss down to lock in profit. And if the trade carries on going down, then you follow it on with your stop loss, not too close, but close enough. Follow it on, so you're locking more profit as you go along. But on average, when you lock in 0.5%, it does have an average. It can turn around and take you out on that. But other times it can just keep going and going and going, and you just keep following it with your stop loss to lock in maximum profit.
So what he means by that, when it takes you out, it means you would gain approximately $250. If he never moved that stop loss from there, that came back and hit it exactly on that 0.5%, and then it rejected. So he could have kept it, but if it hadn't, and it would just kept dropping, for example, they might bring it down every 0.5%, keep trailing down 0.5%, 0.5%, 0.5%.
Yeah.
So you can't lose a trade, basically. And one of the things Nick's done, I think the last 3 weeks, every single day, I believe he's won every day.
Every day, yeah. Well, tomorrow, Friday, it'll be 3 weeks to the day. Yeah, I've won every trade every day for the last 3 weeks. I did lose one trade a few days ago, but I regained that plus profit on top on the second trade of the day. So despite the one loss, every day has been a winning day every day for 3 weeks consistently.
Yeah. So thank you. So Henrik and Dan, you saw this live, the 10 o'clock turnaround. It's coming down to a zone, I said, potentially quite a strong zone. It hit the 50% mark, which I drew. Again, you saw it here live, the 50%. That was based on, I did that on a 5-minute time frame, not a 1 minute. And just to show you that there, it was that candle there. Apologize. That strong candle there. So it went up, pushed down, then rejected. It was a strong push away. That was the reason for it. And it went down into that, and that's where we are now. Now, sorry, I apologise. Somebody's speaking there.
Yeah, Jeff, can I just say something about the stop loss, the trailing stop loss?
If you can see anything you wish.
For Dan, yeah. I mean, the way to do trailing stop loss, really, if you're on a sell, bring your stop loss down to the top of the last candle. Because if the candle that breaks that candle, it's probably broke trend anyway. So what I do is I run it down to the top of last candle or bottom of last candle that closed. And every time the candles keep pushing up, you just bring it up to the next bottom of the next candle.
Yeah.
Or top.
There's many ways to do it. Another way is to use.
That's the way I do it.
Thank you very much. I know people just do it with.
There's many ways to do it. Yeah, there's many ways to do it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Demo.
Yeah. So you're getting good advice from slightly different ways of doing it. Some people don't believe in a trailing stop. They just say, hit my target, close the trade, walk away. Or they watch the trade. That's another way to do it. They watch the trade. So let's look at here, for example, on the US 500. So I'm looking at US 500. I'm looking at S&P. One's on futures, and this is called indices or cash for different CFDs. You see it's pushed down here. It's come back up to this zone, which we drew. Now, sometimes when you see things like this, it rejects off this and continues down. Has it been coming down? Although it did break, went up to that structure there, actually. Yeah. Now, I'm just aware today was a little bit different. Today was different, but I wanted to show you what can happen without using indicators, without doing anything, just drawing a few lines, just showing you rather than Forex, because I know Henrik's traded different things, and for him, I wanted to show him what can you do and the value of what that would mean. So with this one here, for example, someone just asked a question, you can use MT, yes you can, MT4, MT5. Yeah. And you can do that manually or with a trailing stop. You can. So there's just getting advice from 3 different people there. That's good. So let's think of this one. We've got this one here, whether we do it on the 15-minute or the 5-minute. This time we'll do it on this one. So went there, closed there. This one actually is a little gap in the market there. So it have opened there. Based on the 5-minute, you would have to put your stop loss above there. And I went down there, 2%, and it started going back up. Yeah, so again, if Nix makes 250 of 0.5%, you can see what's possible in just a little bit of time. Thank you very much. And that's using quite a decent stop loss as well. Yep. Okay, so I want to stop it there for just now, because today I just wanted to have a look at some candles, have a look at, without putting EMAs, because every time I've used EMAs, I've used AUD. In fact, I could go back to AUD USD to have a look at it, but I wanted to show you something different, rather than just what I've been showing you. Maybe it's been too easy what I've been showing so far, so I just wanted to spice things up a little bit. For some, that might seem a little advanced, and I apologize. I just wanted to show you what's possible with a very simple strategy. I'm waiting for a turnaround at a particular, because I trade on time of day as well as candles using an algorithm type trade. Let me quickly, while I'm doing, let me check AUD USD with that actually as well. I think
yeah, I was just going to say, Jeff, I mean, anybody can go more in depth with it, with learning from the very basics. You know, if they go into personal mentoring with yourself, which is well worth it. So.
Absolutely. So let's just check. There's 10 a.m. So it's come down, pushed up, and 10 a.m. happened. Oh my God, you cannot make that stuff. It just pushed down. The exact same move. Yes. Now, let me see. Let me look at USD JPY. Now, question for you, Dan. Why did that go the opposite way? Went up, pushed down before continuing up. Because it's to do with the dollar. We're basically trading the dollar.
On the time.
Yeah. Time in the dollar. Bang.
Yeah.
So day one of my bootcamp, I always talk about time. I give people times of day the market moves in a particular way. Yep. We give you tools. We give you, if you want to trade with structure of the market on a higher time frame to lower time frame, we teach you how you can like scalp on from the 1 minute to the 15 minute using various tools. I teach candles with other people. One of the other traders teaches structure on a 4 hour time frame, waiting for something to happen. This is typically really useful for really, really, really busy people. I don't even have time to set an order because their lives all over the place. So all you do is you see it's coming down, it's coming down, it's coming down, it's coming down, it's reached the bottom, it's reached the bottom. You're looking for this. I'd probably take both of these actually. And the way you trade, you would take that and that. You'd mark that as green on a 4 hour. It leaves the zone, and then you drop down to a 5 minute time frame. Oh, I do apologize. One thing I missed. Horizontal ray, 50%. I just that approximately 50%. I could, if I want, I could really get a GAN box and do it down to the 5, or if Henrik wanted the 15 minute, we could go down to the 15 minute. So we just need to make sure it leaves that zone. Yeah, it's left the zone. Well, give us a minute. Let's get this right. It's left the zone, and you see there it wicks that. Bingo, bang. And there it just goes to the moon. That's a different style. So you have people who teach. You'll be excited. That's something for busy people who don't have time. You set it, you walk away. You can set an alert on that. You can set an order on that. Many things. As I say to people, it's about finding your way. It's about finding, like Nick's found his, Dan Demos found his. I'm sure Henrik has found his method as well. and you'll find your way. It just takes a little time. But the good thing about it is you're not alone. You are not alone. You are plenty of support. It's a small group, so therefore, ask questions. It's not like one of these big groups that I used to be involved in. There might be like thousands of people on a live, and it's like you can't even, you can leave a message, but that's all it is. And you might never get round to answering you. So just like I'm speaking to you like this. No, I'm going to shut up there because I've taken quite a bit of your time today. Today I really wanted to show you, as I said, something just a little bit different. And you see there, let's go to the other one to see if it's pushing nicely at that zone as I drew the 50%. Because I noticed that was a really strong zone, really strong. Then let's look what that would have been like on the 1 minute time frame. Look at that, it respected that. The candles, yeah, they broke through, but they did not close the other side of there, which was nice. And then it went up. There's the pullback to the 50% of even that white candle. Bingo. That's it. So I'm going to shut up. So questions, learnings, or discoveries. Now it's going to hit that other zone. That was quite advanced, possibly too dancy, but we start at the very basics. So I just wanted to make it a little bit more difficult for you. Something for Henrik, to be perfectly honest, because Henrik's quite an advanced trader, and I wanted to do something a bit different for him. And I really thank Demo and Nick for showing their support and being here as well. It's nice when you see such good traders like this. Mr. Demo did 1% today, I believe, and Nick did as normal. Nick, how does it feel when you wake up in the morning, you do your normal one? Gracias, Dan. Buenas noches. When it comes to
Buenas noches.
Yes.
It's a little difficult. Sorry, it's a little difficult to explain, but it just feels great, Jeff. Yeah. No pressure, just no stress, just get it done and get out. It doesn't always work like that, but it does feel good.
It does, because you are so consistent. It's like when you go up in the morning, I don't know about you, I go to the toilet, go for a pee, then I do whatever I do. It's just
you're guaranteed an income, basically.
Yeah, there you go. It just spits out money because you've put the time in. Demo has put the time in. I'm sure Henrik has put the time in. And that's what I don't create superstars. I create consistent traders. And these guys did it. I didn't push the buttons. Demo pushed the buttons for himself. Nick pushes the buttons for himself. So I want to thank everybody, Francisca, Unita, Henrik, Dan, Demo, and Nick for being here. Before I go, give me one positive thing out of today's session. If there was only one positive thing to take away, what would that be? Okay, that says it all. I really appreciate that, Henrik.
I think people are stuck for words, but with me, it's just an overall look at how the market works, basic structure, and just basically learning to stick to one strategy, going for the minimum, and just being consistent.
Not be greedy, because that makes a fool out of you on a daily basis as it used to. But now you've learned that, and so I really appreciate everybody. As I say, thank you. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all at the top. Bye for now.